I'm Dr. Angie Holzer, and I specialize in yoga for mental health. Trauma-informed yoga can help you learn to control and manage what your body and mind are going through. As you add movement and breath to your practice, you start building back the mind and body connections that have been disconnected through your past trauma. So let's briefly hear what trauma is and isn't from Dr. Gabor and Dr. Thomas Huble.
So trauma basically means a wound. So trauma is when you're wounded and that wound persists and has impact in your life later on. So trauma, this is important to distinguish. Trauma is not what happens to you. Trauma is what happens inside you as a result of what happens to you.
People out there talk about trauma, it's like, they say it's about a memory that needs to be digested. I don't agree with that. It's about how your body gets stuck in being frozen or in heartache and gut-wrenching feelings. And you need to really reclaim your body as a very central issue of overcoming trauma.
And in a way, we could say that trauma is an extreme form of splitting off information, because we had to in overwhelming moments. And trauma healing is based on reflect, digest, and integrate.
Dr. Mate talks about how trauma leaves an emotional memory. He also says that there is hope. Our body is made for healing. So there's 3 aspects of trauma healing that I think we need to first review from Dr. Thomas Huble.
Look with you at the capacity to reflect, digest, and integrate. Because for any kind of healing work, we need to make space. If we just keep running in our life, so there's no way that we can heal because we're constantly running. So in order to look at certain parts of our lives deeper, we need to make space for reflection. I drink a cup of tea, maybe I take a walk, maybe I'm in a meditative state, maybe I'm talking to somebody, to a friend or somebody I trust. And all of this creates space. When we create space, we have the capacity to look at parts of our lives when we are completely absorbed in it, so there's often not enough space to reflect. But when I can look at my life, so I start seeing dynamics. A lot of the trauma work is becoming aware of certain dynamics, a certain level of discomfort, problems, patterns, behaviors, trigger points. We need reflection. Way is an invitation to reflect. And with reflection comes another quality, and with space, which is digestion. Same as we digest physical food, our psyches and emotional systems and nervous systems need time to digest our experiences. Especially when we go through phases in our life where we need, maybe more emotionally triggered, where things happen in our life that we experience as difficult. But also when we simply have busy lives, like many of us do, we need a certain level of digestion space. And digestion and digesting leads to integration. And integration is a very important aspect of learning. If I have an experience that I can't integrate, so I can't harvest its learning, so it doesn't increase my perspective. And if I have a situation that's maybe more challenging, but I can digest it and integrate it, it will lead to learning. So I'm becoming wiser, bigger, I expand my perspective. I can include more of the world. And that's why looking also at your own life, how progress and success and going forward is combined with grounding, integrating, digesting, so that we keep our nervous systems basically dynamic, our body's dynamic, our vitality high. So we refresh ourselves, like when you refresh the browser of your internet browser. So then you actually restart something, you refresh it, so that you can look at the world, including the learning that your life so far gives you.
With that introduction, I want us to think about 10 elements of trauma-informed yoga as we move through our practice. This could be for yourself in your own practice. This could be for yoga instructors as you help those in your class. This can also be for health professionals as you help your clients walk through the healing process. Here are the 10 elements, in no particular order. You are in control of your practice, speed and length. If something becomes too much, take a break, relax, move to child's pose. You get to decide. Number 2, learn to develop awareness. Awareness of your emotions and what your body is feeling. Learn when it's time to push yourself and when it's time to relax. What emotions arise when you do certain poses or breathing exercises? What thoughts come up when you're holding a long pose or in Shavasana? Learn to be mindful. 3, learn to refocus. Remember that this is a journey. They say your mind is a monkey. When our mind wanders, we acknowledge where our thoughts went, then refocus them back on our breath, or maybe refocus them back on a yoga flow, which can help if our mind is anxious or racing, allowing our mind to think about moving through the poses instead of outside thoughts. In the book, A Monk's Guide to Happiness, the author talks about wandering thoughts as we are meditating. He says, "You're like a house. Leave the front door open and the back door open. Allow your thoughts to come and go. Just don't serve them tea." Meditation isn't to get rid of our emotions, he says. The aim is to become more comfortable with our emotions, less driven by them. A good example of learning to refocus are the 3 phases of meditation. Phase 1, focus on the breath. Phase 2, notice our mind wandering. This is success. We are lost in our thoughts and now we are aware, not a failure. Phase 3, return our attention to our breath. We notice we got lost, now we return. Each of these phases has a great value. If the point is to come back to our breath, then wandering helps us come back to our breath from something. 4, give yourself experiences. Give yourself experiences to allow yourself to feel sensations. This is often hard. As we learn to reconnect the mind with the body, we want to put ourselves in positions and experiences, helping us learn to know how long to push yourself and knowing that the uncomfortable feelings of holding a pose will end in a few breaths. 5, safe environment. Choose a place that feels safe and comfortable. This could be the secure spaces where you don't have to worry about anyone entering. This could be having a comfortable temperature. Maybe this is where you position yourself in a yoga class, in the front where you're close to the instructor, or maybe in the back where you can feel free to do something a little different if you need to. 6, give yourself permission to relax. Take a break when you need to. It's not a competition. Remember, you are learning to listen and reconnect with your body and mind. Only you can truly understand what you need. Sometimes moving to Shavasana early is exactly what you may need that day. 7, embrace the journey of imperfection. There's a difference between doing a pose in a way that's harmful to your body and creating a shape with your body that looks different than what others are doing. I often tell my classes that the shape they create in a pose is exactly where they need to be. Don't worry what your neighbor is doing or looks like in a pose. How do you feel? What do you notice about yourself in that pose and while you're doing a breathing exercise? Then take time to digest that information and integrate what you've learned to expand your perspective. 8, different styles of yoga can help in different ways. When we think about the importance of feeling grounded, we can ask ourselves, what style will help me feel grounded today? Help me feel connected to the earth and safe? This could be gentle yoga, giving me time to focus more on my breath. This could be a yoga flow that helps me connect with movements and grounding my body. 9. Learn your triggers. Gabor Mate gives an example of having triggers by using an analogy of a gun and bullets. A gun represents the external triggers in the environment, and our emotional memories and internal emotional buildup can represent the bullets. If we didn't have any bullets in the chamber, the external triggers can't impact us. As we give ourselves experiences to recognize and release the emotions, and even help give ourselves a healthy outlet for our emotions, these outside triggers impact us less and less when we remove the buildup of our emotions associated with that trigger. The SCARF model by David Rock is a great way to identify your environmental and social triggers. You can find a link to it on our website, yogawillheal.com. 10. Learn to recognize and express your emotions. Allow yourself to express your healthy anger. When we hold our emotions inside, often we see our body respond by developing diseases, says Dr. Gabor Mate. We can express our emotions through acknowledging it to ourselves when we're in our yoga practice, talking to someone about the sensations you felt in your practice and what you experienced on the mat, keeping a journal and sharing your experiences there. The more you learn to recognize and express your emotions, the faster your mind-body connection will develop in the healing process. This could be processing what you experienced, digesting it, then integrating it into your life by learning what you need to let go, or adding something to your life to help in your journey. I hope this has been helpful in your healing journey. If you'd like to learn more, subscribe and comment.